Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in today. My name is Kelsey, and today we are looking at messages from the crystal realm. So let's go ahead, grab a notebook if you feel called to do so, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, pull up a chair, and sit for a spell. Okay, beautiful souls, out in front of you, here we have three different piles, and I am doing things a little bit differently for this reading. I did shuffle out the majority of the cards. I do have another tarot deck here to shuffle out any clarifiers that we may need along the way, but I just felt called to do this reading this way. But out in front of you, we have three different piles to choose from, but I really want you guys to tune into the crystal selection of this reading, as this is a message from the crystal realm, or a message that's being delivered to you from spirit through the crystal realm. It could come through differently for different people, but out in front of you here we have pile number 1, and this is lepidolite here. We have pile number 2 with the pyrite. And we have pile number 3 with the clear quartz crystal. So go ahead, take your time, take a couple deep breaths, really tune into this reading, tune into these crystals, pause this video if you need to, and ask which one of these crystals has a message to deliver to you at the time that you find yourself at this reading. Once you have chosen a pile or a crystal, I will have the timestamps to the beginning of each reading in the description box below, along with the links to the cards that I'm using for anybody who may feel called or drawn to that, as well as my website for anybody who wants to check that out or book a personal reading. You can also find the link to join the channel, and all of that good information is all down in the description box for anybody who feels called to just check it out. So with all of that being said, you guys, go ahead and pause the video if you still need a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 1. Hello, my beautiful group number 1. Those of you that chose pile number 1 with the lepidolite stone here, this reading is for you. And starting off, I just want to kind of tune into the energy of this stone, and this particular stone is one that kind of grows or is created in layers, almost kind of book-like, and therefore also it's also very connected to kind of like the air element. It is correspondent to the Libra zodiac sign, and what I'm really getting from this for group number 1 is that there is knowledge, information, or some sort of awareness that is trying to come in. And I was also getting a message of really needing to kind of clear the mental body. So for some of you guys, working with like black sage may be something very good, kind of clearing that third eye or crown chakra, or even needing like protections for those if you've noticed that you've been very much so in your head, or things like that. But the biggest kind of overall energy coming in here for group number 1 has to do with trust issues. And what I heard coming into this reading is you are who you hang with. So if you're having, I feel like, especially with this being connected to Libra energy, Libra is all about kind of the way we interact in partnerships and in relationships. And I feel like there's something here about trust issues that's been very prominent or on your mind, or maybe even clouding your judgment in certain ways. This can also have to do with like addictive behaviors or addictive personalities for some people. So this could be coming through as like you may be having like a lot of trust issues with somebody, or having a lot of doubt about whether or not somebody wants to be in your life or wants to be in a relationship with you, regardless of what kind of relationship it is. And because of this, it may be driving you to like almost like codependent behavior, like really needing that person's validation, that person's acceptance. trying to constantly prove yourself to somebody is something that's coming through here quite strongly for group number one to become aware of. I do also feel that for some of you guys, there's some sort of book. Maybe it's been kind of showing up in front of you a lot. Maybe you've been hearing the title a lot, or maybe there's just been a book that you've been very called to, or even maybe like bibliomancy, where it's like kind of book divination practices being very significant for you at this time. But let's go ahead and get into your cards here, group number one, and see what else we have coming out for you. So we're going to start off and just kind of work our way through these cards. So group number one, we have initiation coming out with sacred site. Yeah, so I really feel like you guys are being kind of initiated into a new version of yourself almost, as well as initiated into like spirit. Some of you guys may be feeling very called to join some sort of group or family. This could even be like a coven or anything like that. There's something here where it's like you are accepting some sort of invitation. So for those of you where it's like this information may be coming to you, it could be an invitation as well coming to you that is going to really make you kind of evaluate trust in some way, shape, or form. Interesting. Let's continue here and see what else we have coming out for group number one. We have Morganite coming out here with Fill Yourself. Yeah, so this is really leading me to believe that for some of you guys, you've experienced some sort of injustice or some sort of betrayal, some sort of energy where it's like somebody let you down, somebody went against what they said, somebody left you behind. This could even have to do with kind of like abandonment issues. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're being initiated into like the healing process of these energies. For some of you, this could be more spiritual. For some of you guys, this could be kind of more 3D realm, where maybe some of you are beginning like therapy or kind of addiction behavior services or rehab or something like that, or surrounded by that energy. There's something here about needing to take a step towards your healing from some sort of abandonment or betrayal or codependency, or like this need to seek validation from something or someone outside of yourself. To make yourself feel better. There's a need to put energy into yourself instead of needing somebody or something else to fill you up. I feel like group number one, a lot of you guys have spent a period of time needing somebody else to fill your cup. And I don't want to say that this is on purpose or anything like that. It's just that it feels like a very major pivotal point or turning point in your life. For some of you guys, this could have been a point that you've already experienced, and you can kind of pinpoint looking back where the big change was in your life, where the moment was where you were like, I need to change, or I need to get better. And for those of you that have already experienced that, this is Spirit coming through here saying like you are entering a new phase of this journey. And some of you guys right now, at the time that you're watching this video, you are just now entering that point in your life that you're going to be able to look back on later and be like, that was the point in my life where everything changed. Interesting. We next have the Gentleman, and it's very interesting that the heart energy keeps coming out here. So some of you guys may be really being activated or initiated in the heart chakra, having a lot of activations that are requiring forgiveness and expansion and compassion and empathy for yourself. Some of you guys may be entering into a new connection or relationship, or a new phase of a connection or relationship, where healing these trust issues is very required in order for this growth to happen. Healing your divine masculine energy as well is something that's coming through here. Or healing from any sort of narcissistic or addictive kind of energies. Yeah, we also have letters, so there's that information or that kind of invitation for some of you guys that's coming forth. And I feel like this here says it's a surprise letter from a place remote, brings good news from a friend who wrote, if the words portend a stormy sky, sadness will soon much intensify. So I do feel for a lot of you guys that this letter or invitation or information that you're going to be receiving is kind of there's something very significant about it, and it may take you off guard. It may even kind of put you in your feelings. It could be a text message, it could be a letter, it could be an email, it could be hearing something from somebody else. For some of you guys, this could be like somebody coming forth saying I messed up, or somebody coming forth asking for forgiveness in some way, shape, or form, which may kind of bring you back to that time in your headspace when the betrayal happened, or something like that as well. And then we also have Anchor. So there is something here about something long distance, group number one. Some of you guys may be starting a long distance relationship or ending a long distance relationship. Some of you, especially like a long distance relationship where you had to write back and forth. Somebody here, there may be somebody like incarcerated, or somebody that is somewhere where like you aren't able to see them, or you aren't able to kind of be together in the physical for some reason or another. For some of you guys, this could be somebody that is already in a committed relationship with somebody else, and maybe you were needing them to like choose, and this letter or this information could be their decision. Interesting. But however this comes through for you, group number one, is it is going to be different for everybody, as this is a general reading. However this comes through for you, whatever this is going to, again, with the Anchor here, it's going to solidify like this turning point. It's going to really stabilize how you move forward in some way, shape, or form towards your healing. Interesting. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot cards that we have here for you guys. So starting off, we have the Tower. Yeah, and it definitely does feel like this. It definitely does feel very sudden, or like something is going to be taking you by surprise in a way that kind of forces you to have to move forward differently. So for some of you guys, this could be something, this Tower moment could be something you've already experienced, but there's definitely something here where it's like, it's almost like an illusion or an idea kind of being shattered here. And this could be good, or you might be perceiving this as more of a negative thing for some of you at the time that it's happening. But this is the initiation. This Tower moment is the initiation into, for some of you guys, kind of finding partnership. This Libra energy is coming through quite strongly, and with this initiation energy here and these two kind of orbs, I'm seeing this as kind of like two souls. So some of you guys, this has to do with another soul, and for some of you guys, you're being initiated into a meeting with another soul in some way, shape, or form. You could be definitely dealing with some soul contract energy at this time for group number one. We also have the Queen of Wands. You guys are going to be going through a glow up after this Tower kind of crashes down unexpectedly. Whatever this news is that comes in, or this invitation, you know, and some of you guys, you could be receiving like a wedding invitation to somebody that you used to be with, that may cause you to kind of go back emotionally or mentally to that place. And for those of you that resonate with that or that happens, this could be Spirit's way of telling you that there's still a lot of healing of your heart space that needs to be done from that point in time in your life or from that specific relationship. But however this comes through, there is somebody that I feel like really broke your heart, or that you're currently going through a heartbreak with, that is initiating you into a glow up, into a period of time where you are going to begin healing the heart space first and foremost, but also you're going to be coming into this very attractive energy, this very magnetic energy that's going to allow you to build in a much bigger way than I feel like you ever could have imagined, even for group number 1. Interesting. There's almost like karmic clearing here, emotionally, for some of you guys. Some of you guys could be being like asked out or something by somebody as well, and there's a need to be open to that if that's something that, if you're searching for love, or if you're searching for companionship, or if you're, you know, maybe you're feeling quite lonely but you have these trust issues and somebody asks you out and like it's almost like your first reaction is no. There's a need to be more open. Interesting. So here we have the 9 of Roses. Yeah, so, okay, so Spirit really wants you guys, group number 1, to focus on learning how to be happy independently. There's something very major here for group number 1 about your happiness or your emotional stability or even your mental stability for some of you guys, depending on your situation, really depending on the state of other people around you, or really depending on like your relationship status. There's something here where it's like there's this mindset or this idea or this kind of belief system that you guys are stuck in that tells you that your happiness only comes from being in a partnership or in a relationship, and that you can't be happy when you're single. Like there's this like stigma around being single, like it's a negative thing for some of you guys here. And Spirit wants you to know that it's not a negative thing to find happiness within yourself. And we have that here with fill yourself as well. Some of you guys may be winning some sort of court case as well. Or there may be some sort of like divorce settlement in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not sure why like the relationship aspect is coming through here so strongly. Usually I don't pick up on a whole lot of those types of situations, but it's here. So we also have the Ace of Summer. Yeah, so definitely being initiated into a new emotional state for group number 1, for sure. With the Ace of Summer, this is like the Ace of Cups in the original tarot. And this is like new love. This is new emotional states. This is new happiness. And I feel for a lot of you, you're being initiated into a period of time where you're going to be able to really anchor into this energy without needing somebody or something else to validate that for you, or to tell you that you should be happy, or to, you know, make you feel that way. For some of you guys, you may have like some sort of belief system, like subconscious belief system, that love or happiness is something that comes from somebody else. And you are going to be overcoming that very soon. Wow. Then we have the 4 of Roses coming out here, the 4 of Summer. And how I'm really seeing this is that you guys are for sure anchoring into a new emotional state. There is emotional release, emotional healing happening here for group number 1 in a very, very major way. And it may be activated or initiated through heartbreak. That's just kind of what I'm seeing here for group number 1. But this is what I'm seeing from the Lepidolite. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value or clarity, please hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose this pile. Let me know what other kinds of readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 2. Those of you that chose pile number 2 with the pyrite here, this reading is for you. And starting off here for you guys, pyrite is very good for kind of the brain, or as well as like stimulation, energy activations. It's connected to the solar plexus chakra, and it turns like more gold with more oxidation. And kind of the energy I'm getting from that idea is like the more space you give yourself to breathe, or the more time you allow yourself to have to breathe, or to almost kind of be free, the more abundant you're going to be. Interesting. So that's something that's coming in here for you guys. But pyrite is very good for kind of clearing negativity. It's good for protection, as well as it's good for like leadership. It's good for kind of being out front or being seen. So that may be something that you guys are coming into, is that kind of energy, or that may be kind of a job that you're seeking, or kind of an opportunity that you're seeking. And pyrite may be something very good for you to work with to kind of spark that opportunity, or have those activations that allow you to kind of connect with those energies. But let's go ahead and get into your cards here, group number 2, and see what else wants to come out for you. So group number 2, starting off, we have the moon with divine feminine, and this is black moonstone energy coming out here. So there is kind of this sense of mystery that I'm getting here, as well as like very internal activations I feel happening for group number 2. Some of you guys working with like lunar magic may be something that's super powerful for you at this time, but it's almost as though you're going through certain phases, or this may be something that you're really feeling or recognizing within your life, is certain kind of phases or cycles. There's definitely like a cyclical nature to the energy that's coming into this reading for group number 2. Something may be coming back around. You may feel like you've missed your opportunity, or like you let something pass you by. And for those of you that resonate with that, whatever that was is coming back around, whether it be that same specific thing or a very similar or familiar energy or opportunity is coming back around. Interesting. Some of you guys, I'm also hearing, really need to take action from your intuition, from your internal senses, from your divine feminine energy, like trusting your instincts, trusting your intuition, trusting your kind of emotional self, and allowing yourself to take action from those nudges is something that's super important as well. Let's go ahead and see what else we have for you. We have Sacred Center with selenite, wow, which is also very connected to lunar energy. Let's see, we have the triple moon right here. And it's almost like the balancing energy to this black moonstone. I'm also getting, like, again with this infinity sign, like what goes around comes around, or like this cyclical nature. Things, what you put out comes back to you, right? So group number 2, if there is something that you're wanting, there's a need to kind of become that, or to put that out into the universe, to trust that if you move towards it, it will move towards you. Interesting. We also have a full moon in Leo coming up, which I feel is going to be very activating for group number 2 with the solar plexus energy. a lot of you guys may have been working with boundaries and working with like these protections and these ideas of protecting yourself and not letting people walk all over you, not letting people kind of cross the lines that you've put down, and finally really enforcing those energies, which is absolutely wonderful. It's a very difficult process to go through. But in that process, you know, we learn what we don't like, we learn what we don't want and what we won't accept from others and from this reality. And something that I'm seeing here for you guys is that, okay, you know what you don't want now, and now it's time to begin moving towards what you do want instead of constantly being on this defensive and only looking at like defending yourself from the things you don't want and defending yourself from the people that may be trying to walk over you or whatever. It's time to start also integrating this idea of what you do want to allow into your life. Interesting. I like that. Let's see what else we have coming out for you. We have the fish. When fish swim near in an ocean vast, prospects are clear for a fortune amassed. If fish swim away, hopes are battered, cheer turns to dismay, and dreams are shattered. Interesting. Yeah, so I really feel for a lot of, and again, this has this idea of like this back and forth energy, but I really feel like for group number 2, there is definitely something coming in, something coming back to you. For some of you guys, there is definitely like some sort of fortune or abundance coming in with this pyrite. Maybe you've invested into something, and what you've invested into is going to grow and bring you back, kind of like reaping the rewards or being able to harvest the fruits of your labor in some way, shape, or form. We also have stars. Shining stars brighten the sky, bodes joy from afar where happiness lies. In starlight, dreams come true, hope is in sight, success is in view. Yeah, so there's a major energy of success, of fortune, of abundance, of luck, of being in the right place at the right time. I feel like the biggest message so far for you, group number 2, is to really hone those skills of trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, where it's leading you, what you're being called to do, where you're being called to take action, and really kind of assert yourself in those areas. Because it's like there is a massive opportunity coming your way, group number 2, which is awesome. You just have to trust yourself to kind of meet it halfway here. We also have the ring. Ring to the right, your love is alive. It will ever be bright and continue to thrive. Ring to the left and troubles begin. Your heart will be cleft and filled with chagrin. Yeah, so there is a promise here. There is a promise here for group number 2 that success, it's almost like success is guaranteed if you can allow yourself to trust yourself enough to go after it. Whatever that means for you, is that's going to mean different things for different people, but there's a big message here to trust that internal calling, to trust that instinct, to trust your heart, to trust that desire, and really assert yourself towards that. Take the reins and allow yourself to move towards that. Don't allow outside forces to tell you that it's a bad idea or that you should do it a different way. That's kind of where those boundaries come in and why those boundaries were so important to begin with, because now it's time to start moving towards what you want while still not allowing other people to kind of cross those lines that you've laid down. Interesting. Some of you guys may be traveling fairly soon, or you may receive an opportunity to travel for work. Some of you guys may be receiving a contract, an offer of some sort that's going to be bringing you into a lot of success. It could be marriage. It doesn't really feel like that to me, but it definitely could be for somebody here, as this is a general reading. Interesting. So a lot of success, a lot of abundance, and a lot of kind of empowerment coming in for group number 2. There's just really a need to trust yourself here. Let's go ahead and get into your tarot. So we have the Lovers coming out here. Yeah, there's union. You guys are coming into contact with something or some sort of sacred contract, some sort of opportunity, some sort of offer. Some of you guys may be reconciling with somebody or something. Wow. And then we have the Moon again. Wow. So we do have Gemini energy here with the Lovers, and this is kind of social networking. This is connecting. For some of you guys, this could be connecting to like mass amounts of people or crowds in some way, shape, or form, especially with the stars energy here. Some of you guys may be recognized for the work that you've been doing in some way, shape, or form that's going to bring you a lot of success in your field, regardless of what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like fame in the kind of musical industry or anything like that, but it could be like major recognition or a major status increase in the work that you do, like people knowing your name. There's something here about like people knowing your name. And again, with the Moon, that's really reinforcing this idea of this cyclic nature and this need to really trust the ebb and flow of what you're moving towards. Because for some of you guys, you may be in a very still energy right now, and you may be feeling like, well, I don't know like what I'm going to be recognized for, or I don't know how I'm going to achieve this success when nothing's happening. But there's a need to know that sometimes we have to take a rest. Sometimes we have to allow the universe and spirit and the divine to get things in order before we can move forward. And I feel like some of you guys may be in that kind of period, almost like dark moon period, where it's like nothing's really happening, nothing's really moving, but there's a need to trust that it will begin moving again, whatever this is for you, that it will begin growing again, that it will expand more. Interesting. We also have here the Lupin, the King of Spring, and the Five of Roses, or the Five of Summer. So the Lupin here, this card represents a lot of, this is almost like, almost similar to kind of the Empress energy here. This is very much so about skills, about success, about talents, about confidence. In this particular deck, though, this card is again reinforcing this idea of success and of talent, of confidence, of recognition, and excess in skills, really, as well as like the sense of determination that I feel like group number 2 is really having to kind of become this energetic kind of driving force. Like you're really being asked to harness that determination and to kind of come into that leader type energy. For some of you guys, this could be interpreted as like maybe needing to take more action, or even like with this Five of Roses or Five of Summer here, this could definitely be like needing to overcome the conflict between the heart and the head. For some of you guys with the King of Spring, this is kind of like King of Swords energy, and this idea of being very clear-minded and knowing exactly what you want and exactly where you need to go. And the Five of Summer here, this is like the Five of Cups. This can indicate like emotional conflict or grief or depression or these kinds of energies. And what I really see here for group number 2 is that there is a huge need to get your heart and your head on the same page, and that may be a big part of why the Moon and this divine feminine energy is so strong here. That's kind of your heart. A lot of you guys may be making choices or taking action against your heart or against what you truly want, and like leaning too far towards the logical side of the scale, right? So there's a need to kind of balance those energies for you at this time in order to come into the the most success that you can, or the best opportunities that you can, group number 2. But this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful souls that chose this pile. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose pile number 2 or the pyrite. Consider subscribing or joining the channel if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello, my beautiful group number 3. Those of you that chose pile number 3 with the clear quartz crystal sphere here, this reading is for you. And clear quartz is very, very good for amplifying energy, for channeling energy, for meditation. And it's very good for kind of like programming for certain things. Some of you guys here could be star seeds. That is an energy that I'm picking up on from this quartz at this time. There's something here about some of you guys maybe having like certain almost like light codes activated, or like downloading like new energetic blueprints in some way, shape, or form, which is something that clear quartz is very, very good with. It's very good for like being like programming it for what you want it to be. It's kind of like this clean slate, but it's also very powerful. It's very good at amplifying, and it's very good for clearing, and it's very, very, very good for connecting astrally. Interesting. So let's go ahead and get into your reading, group number 3, and see what the crystal realm wants to communicate to you today. These readings have been a little bit different than they usually are for me, which has been fascinating for me, but let's go ahead and see what wants to come out for group number 3 today. So starting off, we have the truth and integrity with turquoise. So turquoise, and that's very interesting too. My hand, I have turquoise and clear quartz on my hand here. This is summertime, so summertime may be very significant for you guys, but I'm really noticing this kind of sphere of light up here, and I'm seeing that as kind of like the clear quartz activation of the crown chakra, truth and integrity. So there is definitely like an enlightening here, as well as for some of you guys there's almost something coming through here, like activations from the Akashic, or from past life energies for some of you guys. I'm really picking up on like the geometric kind of shapes, or even like crystal grids may be something that's very significant for you, or can be if that's something you've never worked with. Maybe this is kind of like your calling for some of you guys, to be able to really channel energy and direct energy. I feel like a lot of you guys are channelers. You are very good at channeling and directing energy, just as the clear quartz is. And maybe some of you guys aren't even aware of the power that you have in that aspect. Interesting. Let's see what else we have coming out for group. Oh my gosh. Number 3, we have clear quartz. The only thing. Wow. So group number 3. I feel like you guys are almost like light beings. You could really resonate with like Lumeria, or you may even just be kind of being activated into the recognition of your light and what you're meant to use that energy for. Some of you guys may be receiving like light activations or light downloads, and it's almost as though, how I'm seeing this, as though like your soul family or your spirit guides or certain beings, like almost like light beings, handing light down to you through meditation practices or astral travel or during like your dream state. So there is an amplification of your power right now, and I feel like this is almost like an initiative force here where you are meant to, it's like now is the time where you're meant to move into some sort of purpose or some sort of life mission. Interesting. There's direction coming here. There's clarity coming in here for group number 3. And I feel like by summertime, regardless of where you live or what time of year it is now for you, like the summer coming to you is going to be, it's like you're going to be in a completely different space or a completely different energy by that time. Interesting. Let's see what else we have coming out here for you, group number 3. We have the house. So there's definitely like a stability, like so group number 3, what I really feel here is that there is, for one, there is like whatever this activation is, whatever this download or this blueprint kind of activation is, it's something that's going to be a part of your life for a long period of time. Like there's this sense of longevity coming in here. So whatever this purpose is, whatever this mission is, wherever this direction is taking you, it's going to be something that's a part of your path for a long period of time, I feel. We also have the mice. Interesting. And the birch rod. I really feel like group number 3, I feel like some of you guys may have already experienced this, or some of you guys may be about to in some way, shape, or form. And energy is fluid, so this could go either way, so apply it how it resonates for you. I feel like there's been something taken from you, or you've taken something from somebody else with this truth and integrity here. I'm not asking you to admit, I'm not asking you to, you know, write that in the comments, but if that's something that you are aware of, there is a need to kind of internally accept or acknowledge that maybe you have taken something from somebody else, whether this is like physical objects or whether this is like emotionally, or this could be like even abusing somebody else's trust in some way, shape, or form. And there's something, or somebody could have done this to you, okay? Some of you guys, or somebody here, may have had their house broken into. Or you may have lived a life where you had to break into other people's houses to take what you needed, in some way, shape, or form. And it's almost as though, group number 3, that you guys are moving into a period of your life where you're going to be, so this could be playing out by watching your children, this could be playing out by some significant event, but it's almost like you're moving into a period of your life where you're going to have to help other people who were in the same shoes as you used to be move forward in a better way. And this needing to help people or trying to help people who lived in the same way that you did or experienced the same things that you did really can make you kind of have to look at yourself and be like, well, I did this. So there is kind of a message here, like to not beat yourself up, but to kind of learn from the things that you've done and maybe teach other people to make different choices, or to find better options. Interesting. This is coming through here quite interesting. Some of you guys are meant to be some sort of like social worker or therapist, or working with people who had very rough childhoods, or maybe you're like an inner child healer if this is more energetic or spiritual healing. I feel like you guys are healers. Group number 3, you guys are definitely healers, and you guys are definitely good at like channeling the light into people, into situations. And you guys are coming into a period where you're being asked to channel the light into a situation or into a person that is going to directly reflect yourself, and this is going to cause like this growth and this expansion and this amplification of your own skills and abilities if you can allow yourself to look in the mirror. Interesting. So it's almost like shadow work coming through here simultaneously with this light worker energy. Let's get into your tarot group number 3 and see what else we have coming out. We have the Page of Pentacles. Some of you guys are definitely meant to do this work for a job, and we have the 9 of Swords, and that's that fear, that sleepless nights, the inability to stop overthinking. This is anxiety, this is stress, and for a lot of you guys, I feel like maybe you've been like subconsciously resisting these light code activations or like this light worker kind of mission out of this fear of the shadow work. And if that's the case for you, group number 3, it's almost like Spirit's saying it's not going to be as bad as you're anticipating or as you're working yourself up to be. And for some of you guys, you know, Spirit's saying there are other options, there are other ways to move through this, and you're not alone, and you don't have to do this alone. And there's something here where it's like Spirit really wants to ease your fear of moving into this path, whatever this path is for you. There's just this sense of resistance to moving into your purpose or a soul's kind of mission in some way, shape, or form. And this is going to come through differently for everybody, as this is a general reading, but there is a very strong kind of undertone to this reading that you guys are light workers in some way, shape, or form. This could be, you know, energy healers, this could be inner child work, this could be mediumship, this could be tarot readers, this could be any kind of light worker. This could be social work, this could be working with children, this could be, you know, helping less fortunate, this could be helping people kind of like reintegrate themselves into the world after rehab or incarceration. This can come through in so many different ways, but there's like this fear of allowing yourself to step into that role that Spirit really wants you to acknowledge, that the fear that's coming from this is your shadow. That's where our fear comes from, is our shadow, and Spirit's really wanting you to look at your shadow and acknowledge that fear and embrace that fear, and maybe even work to heal that fear in whatever way you have to do that in order to kind of embrace this mission. Wow. We also have the 5 of Spring. And again, we have this mirror here, right? There, and 5s always represent like some sort of conflict or tension. And this here is like this inability to see yourself. I'm hearing, like, funny enough, I'm hearing Taylor Swift's kind of new song Anti-Hero, where she says, I'll look directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, that Spirit's wanting you to acknowledge. I don't feel like you guys are doing this on purpose or consciously even, but I do feel like it's kind of impacting your ability to gain direction or clarity. So there's a need to acknowledge some sort of truth or take responsibility for some sort of truth in some sort of way. We have the 9 of Fall. And the 5 of Fall. Or, I'm sorry, here we have the 5 of Fall and then the 9 and 5 of Spring. I think I said that backwards. But I feel like there is a sense of, like, I want to say freedom, like almost like this idea that the truth sets you free, right? And I feel like the only thing that's kind of restricting you or holding you back is your own thoughts of what might happen if you acknowledge the truth, or what might happen if you look in the mirror. Interesting. There is this sense of passion coming in here, creativity and excitement for the future. It's just the only thing that's holding you back is like this truth, or this fear, or the truth of the fear that you are holding. For some of you guys, this is more about acknowledging that there is fear instead of living as though there isn't. Acknowledging that you have fear of how to move forward or what you're meant to move forward in, instead of living your life avoiding this fear that is very present, out of this idea that you're not, that fear is a negative thing. Maybe a lot of you guys grew up in a household where you were taught that you shouldn't be afraid, or like maybe you were kind of talked down on or made to feel bad because you were scared of the dark, or because you had like there's something here about like your childhood fears, and being taught that they were dumb, or they were stupid, or they were unreasonable. And this is kind of snowballed into this idea that fear is a ridiculous thing, or something that you shouldn't have, or something that's wrong with you, or some sort of illness even, that you're afraid to kind of heal or overcome or face, even because of this idea that you can't even there's like this idea that you can't acknowledge it's there because of how you were raised, and you're really being asked to acknowledge it, to acknowledge your shadow, to move through that in whatever way you have to move through that. That's going to be different for everybody, whether it be therapy, counseling, spiritual shadow work, or journaling, or however works for you. But there is a need to kind of acknowledge the truth of how you actually feel and what your real fears are, instead of telling yourself that you shouldn't have those fears and living as though they don't exist because you were taught to do that. Interesting. So I hope all of that made sense for you guys, but this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 3. A lot of very high vibrational souls here, a lot of light workers, a lot of healers that chose this pile. If you enjoyed this, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you thought of this, let me know if you chose this pile and what other readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.